Well, hello guys, and welcome back to another part to Let's Play Dark Souls 2. Okay guys, so I had a bit of a mix-up with this latest recording and also with one or two after this. I recorded a big chunk of footage, about a little bit under an hour's worth of Dark Souls 2, and for some reason my microphone did not record, so right now this is actually going to be a post-recording of me talking and voicing over the game, which is going to be a little weird for me. I've rewatched the clip a couple times, so I at least know what's going to happen here, but I'll try to provide the best amount and high quality commentary that I can in this video. So in this video though, I am going to be fighting the Pursuer boss, which should be pretty exciting. Now unfortunately you won't get to hear my instant reactions, because I did start, like, I remember at one point I started freaking out here, but you know, it'll be alright, we'll still get through it. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going up to that platform that's behind my character right now once I'm done staring at whatever I'm staring at. And then heading out to go fight the Pursuer. This is a little awkward. I'm not actually sure what I'm doing. Oh, so one thing I do right in the beginning is that I actually decide to go take out this hollow that's up here, because as we know, this hollow likes to throw fire bombs at you, and if I use this crossbow to get rid of him, that's going to make my life a lot easier, because once I get up there I won't have to worry about him, and I can just completely focus on fighting the Pursuer. So once I'm done killing him, I'm going to derp around and try to find my Hide Knight Sword, because I couldn't find it for a minute. Alright. And then I'm going to equip it and talk about these. So these little white soap signs that are down here, these little white signals that we can see here, are actually summon signs. Now, like I said, Dark Souls 2 is PvP and also co-op based. The way that you actually interact with the world and start co-op games is actually by summoning people through these little soap signs here, which is actually really cool, because if you actually stay over them for a little while, a silhouette of the character will actually pop up. So like that guy looks pretty badass, I think. Is like a cleric with a mace and an awesome helmet. But you can stand over those and you can actually take a look at characters and summon other players to your aid if you want, which is kind of cool. Man, okay, I gotta say, these poleaxe guys, they constantly F me up. I always, like, I'm getting better at fighting them, but I always seem to get hit a little bit. Alright, so here is the Pursuer boss, guys. So this big, like, eagle slash, like, griffin thing is gonna go and drop him down. And then right as he lands, I'm gonna start the fight. Now, the Pursuer is actually not that scary. I guess actually doing this as a post-recording isn't that bad, because I can talk about the tactics of fighting him without having to focus. But yeah, so the way you're going to fight the Pursuer boss, folks, is you just need to make sure you dodge his attacks. Now, I do get hit a few times, so do as I say, not as I do. But he has a 1, a 2, and a 3 hit combo. Both of them are actually pretty slow. The Pursuer doesn't really have any major fast attacks. The only fast attack you have to worry about is when he just comes straight at you and he pulls his sword in an upward lunge. But as long as you can dodge that, you're pretty much fine. Now, when he does that stab motion, or that thrust motion, you really want to make sure you do not get touched by that, because if he catches you with his blade with that attack, what will happen is that he will actually lift you off the ground, deal a bunch of damage to you, and he will curse you, which will do a lot of bad stuff to you. Curses are never good in Dark Souls. It's probably one of the worst status effects that you can have in this game. So make sure you don't get hit by that. Essentially, don't get hit by the Pursuer whatsoever. But it's really, you know, it's not that scary. You have lots of space and lots of, like, area to move around here. So you really don't have to worry about things too much. Oh, I almost fell right there. I forgot about that. But yeah, that 3-hit combo right there, that's probably his fastest multi-hit combo that he has. There's that, and then there's also that swing. Those are the only 2 swings you really ever have to worry about. Besides that, you kind of just have to pay attention and you'll be perfectly fine. Now, it is going to take me quite some time to actually kill this boss, just because I'm challenging him at an early stage, and my weapon doesn't do as much damage as I'd like it to. And also, the Pursuer is supposed to be a boss, so it's going to take me at least a little while to kill him. Some people actually like to do, like to fight this boss, like, immediately. Because I know I watched a video, actually, of a guy who played as the Deprived class, which is the one where you start with nothing, and he actually managed to beat this guy with just a ladle. I think it is going to be my goal to try to hit that level in Dark Souls eventually, to the point where I can just beat things down with a wooden ladle that does, like, no damage. Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to drink an Estus Flask. Right here I'm going to get messed up a little bit, but yeah, no, I get messed up pretty bad. Right here, I was actually freaking out a little bit, I remember. Let's see. Alright, so he's going to do his swing. Oh, and you missed. Haha. I can't believe I used to think this guy was so scary. I fought the Pursuer the first time on this stage when I first played the game because I accidentally ran into him without realizing it, and I got killed so quickly. I felt like I almost froze, but then after that, like, I pretty much had no problem with him. It's definitely much more preferable to fight him in this area though, just because the other area that you have to fight the Pursuer, if you either skip this platform here or if you lose to him here, is a much more restricted space, and it's a lot more difficult. Now there is like an upside, because the upside of fighting the Pursuer in the other space that you can be in is that there's actually a ballista, which is pretty cool, but the ballista is not really that fantastic. It does a decent amount of damage, but you have to be able to actually land it. Pursuer, what you got on me? You got nothing on me. I can dodge all your attacks. That attack is really easy to dodge. There are actually some pretty fast enemy bosses you'll have to fight in the game, but to be honest, I think a lot of them are not that difficult. One of the ongoing debates for Dark Souls, a little bit off topic, is actually that like Dark Souls 2, even though it was made a lot more accessibly, that way like new players get into it, a lot of people were saying that the game was a lot easier, and I kind of agree with them, because like a lot of these bosses are actually just really slow and they're pretty easy to dodge. Like even the Pursuer, he's supposed to be pretty difficult, at least from what I remember, but he's actually not. He's pretty easy. Ooh. Uh-huh. I love how looks like there's another player fighting the Pursuer out of the corner of my eye. You can see his little silhouette right there. So I've almost got him down. I think about 1 or 2 more hits and then he'll probably die. I think I'm going to hit him with a 3-hit combo right here and then take him out. Or no, okay. I'm going to hit him with a 2-hit combo and then I'll take him out right here. 1, 2, and you're dead. Alright, so when you kill the Pursuer, you get 17,000 souls, which is fantastic. I'm going to use those souls immediately once I go back to Majula. And then you also get a really cool ring called the Ring of Blades. The Ring of Blades is awesome. What it does is it actually increases your physical attack by a flat amount. So it just gives you a bunch of bonus attack. It's awesome. So whenever as soon as I fight the Pursuer, if I went my usual route and I joined the Way of the Blue, I usually discard the Way of the Blue ring, because all it does is it gives you just a teeny bit of extra health, and then makes it easier for you to be summoned by other friends who are in the same covenant as you. So it's not really that useful. So I discard it, and then I get the Ring of Blades. And you'll notice, before it was taking me about 3 hits to kill these guys, now it's going to take me like 2. And if I were to actually heavy attack these guys, I could pretty much almost one-hit KO them. So the Ring of Blades is actually a very nice item, and you can actually upgrade it. Or, I mean, can you upgrade it? You can either upgrade it or get another one later, like a Ring of Blades +1 and then a +2. I'm forgetting that off the top of my head, but I know you can get a better version of it later, which is very nice. So, alright, so I'm going to go back to Majula, and we're going to talk to the Emerald Herald.
Seek, lest this land swallow you whole.
I've already been swallowed whole. Don't tell me all these depressing things. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to increase my dexterity a little bit, because I want to actually make it so I can wield any of the shields that I want to use. But I'm only going to increase it to 15. The reason for this is that I'm actually going to be spending the rest of the points in Vitality. Because now that we've defeated the Pursuer, we've unlocked the area where you're actually technically supposed to fight him if you go the normal route. And in that area is actually where I'm going to get my first armor set that I'm going to be using as an upgrade. So once I get that, I'll be pretty OP for most of the early game. The armor set I'm going to be getting is actually the Drang-like mail set, and I'll show you guys how to get it. And it's actually a very nice armor set, and it pretty much, I remember my first playthrough, it got me through most of the early and mid game, so it's actually pretty nice. I wouldn't bother upgrading it. It's very expensive to upgrade the Drang-like set, and you can also get much better armor later if you're going for a heavy knight build. So really don't spend your resources on that if you want to upgrade it. Just wait until you get better items later. But yeah, so the reason I'm getting Vitality is, as you guys know, Vitality increases your equipment load, and the Drang-like mail set is much heavier than the Falcon set that I currently am wearing. So I want to get the Vitality up, because if your equipment load goes above 70%, so if it hits 70% or higher, what'll end up happening is that your character will do this thing that we like to call the fatty roll, which is where essentially your guy rolls for a very low, for a very short distance, and it also takes him an extremely long time to recover from his rolls. It makes it so your guy's a lot more slower, and also he is just a lot more cumbersome. He's less agile. It can actually be a serious problem for you because it makes it very hard to dodge things in boss fights. So you always want to make sure that your equipment load is under 70. And right there I was just showing you guys the soul of the pursuer. So typically I would actually use the souls that you get from bosses, but in this case I'm going to be holding on to the soul of the pursuer because there are two things you can do with the souls of bosses in this game. You can either use them immediately and gain a decent amount of souls. I believe it's 6,000, but I believe it also changes based on the difficulty of the boss. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, guys. It's been a little while since I played this game. You can do that, or you can take them to a special merchant that we'll find later in a later area, and if you give him the soul of the boss, you can use it to acquire one of the boss's weapons or shields, depending on if they have a shield, which is very nice. And what I want to do with that soul is actually I want to acquire the shield of the pursuer. It's not necessarily the best shield in the game, but I think it's pretty good. And also, I like the way it looks in the game, and I used it in my first playthrough, and I had a blast using it. So I'm going to be saving the soul for the time being and using it later. So right here is actually this turtle guy. Now he is a little difficult. He takes a lot of hits, but he's pretty easy to dodge. One thing I have to be careful for in this area is that there are two guys up there. I believe I mentioned it before, but in case I didn't, they throw fire bombs down, and if they hit any of those barrels down there, they can actually blow them up and technically kill you if they do enough damage. But this, I don't really know the name of these guys, so I just called them the Turtle Knights. The Turtle Knights are pretty easy to kill. They're really slow. They do a lot of damage, and also because they have hammers, they can do a lot of damage to your poise. So pretty much one hit from them can knock you off balance, depending on what armor set you're wearing. So you have to be very careful with them. But they're not too bad. Oh, I'm right here. So I actually managed to get a piece of that guy's armor. I got the old ironclad armor, which actually is a lot better than what I'm currently wearing, but my equipment load goes up by a ton. But look at that. It looks really funny. I look like a freaking Ninja Turtle. But right here is actually where I'm going to show you guys an example of what happens when your equipment load goes above 70%. So this armor is actually pretty good, but the Drang-like mail actually is even better than this from what I remember, and it weighs less. So the ironclad armor is not really good to use unless you kind of just want to look like a Ninja Turtle and mess around. That's really the only reason you would need it. So what am I doing here? I watched this video, but I forget what I couldn't figure out what I was doing here, so maybe I was just explaining something. But yeah, here's where I'm going to do the fatty roll, I believe. So let's see, do I roll? Yep, there you go. So that's the fatty roll. So if your stamina goes above 70%, you can see that your guy rolls a very short distance, and he also takes a tremendously long amount of time to recover from his rolls. So that's why it's never good to have your armor above 70%, unless you're really, there's some like really weird, or like, I don't even know, like there's a specific purpose to why you want to keep your equipment load above 70%, then fine, go for it. But otherwise, don't do it. It's going to hurt you in the long run. Okay, so over here is actually where I'm going to show you guys where a couple hidden enemies are that'll try to get you from behind. So these first two guys are the spear and shield guys. These always give me problems. For some reason, whenever a character has a shield in this game, I get messed up by them. I need to practice against those enemies. But over here, you can see up there is a character waiting for you. But before you do that, you want to go and look at this guy, because you notice I can't move around him, which means this guy's alive, so you want to kill him, because as soon as you go and grab the item that's on this corpse over here, this amber herb, that guy will get up and try to attack you. Now when you go up here on this little walkway, what's going to happen is once you get to the edge, to the top of it and fight that guy, another enemy is going to drop behind you and try to kill you. So when you kill this spear and shield guy, you need to make sure you immediately turn around and get ready to fight again. And you guys could see there that the messages actually warned me about it. Now luckily, the guy actually rushed at me, so you actually have to go all the way up here to be attacked by this unit. But since I didn't, I could already see him waiting for me from behind. So once you kill those men, the next thing you're going to want to do is actually you're going to want to go Oh yeah, so the one thing I did forget. So I mentioned in this video I would be getting my Drangleic set, which is my new armor set. However, I forgot that there is one more boss I'm going to have to kill, and that's going to be happening in the next part. Because I need to kill, actually, the last giant, which is a really ugly looking creature. And it's really, I think, in comparison to Pursuer, the last giant is even easier. He takes more damage, because he's meant to be fought first. He's technically supposed to be the first of the bosses. So he's not that hard to fight. Now that thing I just killed right there is actually this, like, you know, like I just call it a crystal lizard. If you ever see those, even if they look kind of cute, kill them. Because if you kill them before they get away from you, what'll happen is that you can get usually some good upgrades from them. A lot of good Titanite stuff, sometimes Twinkling Titanite, which is very good because you need that to make some really heavy duty upgrades. Now right here I grabbed a small shield, a large leather shield. It's okay. Among all the shields I have currently, it has the most physical resistance, but it's really not worth using, to be perfectly honest. I'm not going to be using a shield in this game until the I get my first like heavy duty shield. But I was kind of just showing this thing off. I think, originally I thought that shield looked really good, but then I looked at it closely, and then I realized, like, oh, it has nothing on it. It's just a plain, like, white shield. That doesn't look very good. So, when you come back to this area, first thing you want to do always is you actually want to open this gate right here, or this door. Because once you open this door, you actually will notice you now have access to the bonfire back in the church with the old lady. So if you open that door, you can go up this ladder here, and then you pretty much can have easy access to all the territories, so all the areas in the Forest of Fallen Giants. So, alright, but I think that's going to be the end of this part today, guys. So next time, join me for my fight against the Lost Giant, and thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you all again later.